Welcome to the final whistle with Coach Stevie G. We have what episode are we up to? We're about up to episode 9 now, and we have the power couple of the tipping competition. But before I introduce them formally, I can see Jamie's face with that statement. Before I introduce them formally, I'm going to play their intro song. So here we go. There you go.
What a great match that was.
Were you there on the? Were you there
on
the day? You were, weren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So very, very appropriate. But as I always do, before we kick into the questions, let's do the formal intro. So we got same team, same house, same couch, completely different positions on the ladder. Mick approaches tipping like he's umpiring a test match, confident and always ready to make a quick decision, while Jamie's just quietly racking up the wins and letting the scoreboard do the talking. They're yet to lift the trophy, but don't count them out. This power couple has their eyes on the prize. Forget friendly rivalry. It's love, loyalty to their bunnies, and a leaderboard that decides who does the dishes in this household. Mick, Jamie, welcome to the final whistle. There we go.
What an intro. What an intro.
It is a bit of it. Mate, I actually enjoy writing those things together. I do get the assistance of ChatGPT. I won't lie, but I've got to plug it quite hard to get what I want out of it, and I do enjoy pulling together the intros for each person. So, have you been watching the final whistle? Have you seen any of the episodes?
I haven't. No.
No?
I start to watch some of them, and I haven't watched any through their entirety, but just time constraints and stuff like that. But like I like the intros. I really do. Michelle's last week, that was gold.
Yeah. I've actually been contemplating, because these go for about 45 minutes, that I should do a short version instead of, because not many people. I mean, not a lot. I actually know the stats when I look at the YouTube stats behind the scenes, and not a lot of people watch it all the way through. They get to about 15, 20 minutes, and that's about all they can stomach. So, so just make sure the first 20 minutes, Mick and Jamie, we nail it. So the rest of the 20 minutes, it's got to go fly by. But there you go. Well, I've got a new thing that I do. It didn't really work last week, but I'm going to keep trying at it just to see if we can get it going. But here's a little intro into getting to know you. So as I said before the live stream went off, we did a little bit of Facebook stalking just to make sure that the facts and stats are all correct that I'm going to cover off tonight. And as we all know, if it doesn't happen on Facebook, it didn't happen. So with that statement, I noticed that you guys went to the Gippsland region. Was it last weekend or the weekend before or recently?
Whole week and a bit down there, yeah.
And tell us, where did you actually go in the region? Like, what did you do?
Oh, it's very country, it's rural. So we just drove through some amazing little rural towns and stayed at a winery. So, naturally drank copious amounts of wine. And yeah, what else do you do when you stay at a winery?
That's right. You do what the locals do. So a little birdie might have told me was it your wedding anniversary, or have I got that wrong?
No, that's wedding anniversary.
So how many years now? 2
years.
2 years going solid. That's why I call you the power couple. 2 years and going solid.
Well, it's 15 and a half years together, 2 years married.
Wow. You get less for murder.
Yeah, for sure.
So where did you get married?
Crown Plaza, Hawkesbury.
Hawkesbury. Love the Hawkesbury River, the region down there. Very good. And how did you propose, Mick? Is there a story behind
on bended knee? On the Headland Hotel up near Coffs Harbour. it was a mad rush. It's quite an interesting story, actually, so I will tell it.
Give me a short version.
So COVID had hit. So in 2021, we had plans on heading up to Sawtell, and my plan was to propose on. We're actually heading to Queensland, I think, but we were stopping off in Sawtell, and my plan was to get down on bended knee and do all the thing. But because lockdowns were about to happen, we had to leave a day early. The engagement ring was still in the jeweler getting resized. And I'll let Jamie tell the next part of the story.
No pressure.
So in football terms, that was a flick pass straight over to Jamie.
Oh, well, obviously, so I have a lot of jewelry. I like jewelry, and he picked probably the oldest, tattiest, tarnished looking ring in my jewelry box to have in the box, just as something to present to me. And his comment wasn't yes, it was you could have cleaned it.
And mind you, this was being recorded as well. I had a little microphone.
Yeah, he was all mic'd up, and Mum was filming and everything like that. Yeah.
Probably not the smartest choice if you're on a headland. That he could have very easily just gone like that if he wasn't happy with the decision.
Oh, he stood very far away from the edge. It's all right.
Very good.
And with the in-laws watching, are we going to get in trouble if you ask permission?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No, they actually helped me get organize the ring and the type of ring to buy and all that sort of stuff. And that was a funny story as well, because I mentioned that I wanted to do the surprise proposal, and Jamie's dad sort of said he misinterpreted and thought that I was doing a surprise wedding.
Oh.
Right.
I don't think she's going to like that idea.
Yeah, jump straight into it.
Oh dear. So before the recording started for everyone else to get on, we could hear a dog in the background there. What's your dog's name and what's the breed?
Oh, we have props. You beauty. Oh, there we go. And that looks very similar to the thumbnail that I etched in for this video. And I felt so bad removing your dog in between both of you, but I thought, for the thumbnail, I had to remove the dog, but it made me feel terrible. So tell us about the dog.
This is Millie.
Oh, Millie.
She had a special haircut for you today.
Yeah,
just for this video.
She went to the day spa. Yeah, she's a Maltese Shih Tzu.
Maltese Shih Tzu. Yeah, lovely. How old is she?
8.
Oh, wow.
I know.
And have you had her since a puppy?
Yeah, we got her at 12 weeks.
Oh.
She was tiny. And she was actually black and brindle. Not that you could tell. She's white.
When did that happen?
In the first year.
Yeah,
she just gradually.
Yeah, she kind of just started to lighten in the first year. Then she went for her first haircut. And I went to pick her up. I'm like, that's not my dog.
Yeah.
She's white.
Oh, gosh.
That was weird.
Well, she's very, very sweet.
She is.
Yeah.
And you can tell that she's a big part of the family just by, again, the banter that goes on online. And as I said, it doesn't happen on Facebook. It doesn't happen. But you can see that she's a big part of the family.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. She goes everywhere. She lives the best life.
So it looks like it. She looks very well looked after. Much better than our 2 dogs here at the moment. Anyway, we'll move on.
And I've got.
We recently just clicked around their eyes. That's a big update, a big improvement there.
I had to chat him with some scissors. Poor dogs. Stevie was talking a little bit before about your wedding and proposal and whatnot, but and you said you were together for 15 years before getting married. How did the 2 of you meet?
Retro.
Good old retro. Which floor? Which level?
I was at level 1. I was the DJ on level 1 for many years.
Yeah.
And,
I'm an old soul. You never found me on the other levels.
She's the world's oldest 36-year-old.
Right. Well, I actually have a question about the DJing days. Assuming they're well and truly over, but talk us through your DJing days. Where are some of the venues and some stories? I'm sure you have to have a million stories coming out of different gigs that you've done.
This is a family rated show, isn't it? Yeah. No, the DJing I did for 30 plus years, and the last 10 predominantly done it at Retro in the city. And yeah.
I imagine that's a big gig.
Say again, sorry?
I say as a DJ, I reckon that must be a pretty big gig, like something to be really proud of.
Oh, absolutely. When you're getting 1,200 people through the door every Friday and Saturday night, and it was good fun.
Except when you come out in his Chiefs uniform and do the YMCA, that's not something.
That's perfect.
Borat impersonation.
You didn't have the mankini on, did you?
Yep.
Oh, stop! He did not.
Did you not do enough Facebook stalking there, Stevie, to pull up those?
I've seen the mankini come out in the very Waratah days of cricket. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about DJing. I've seen that outside of DJing.
I can assure you it existed.
Very, very good. What's that song? What's the go-to song that you know that everyone's going to jump up and get up to?
Look, I'd probably get slapped if I didn't say "You're the Voice."
Right.
Look, it was all like any of those sing-along songs were always massive. The Horses and John Farnham's and all that sort of stuff. They were always big. But obviously, to dance to, you've got your Whitney Houstons and your Michael Jacksons and all those sort of party sort of tunes as well. So, and then there's obviously your top 40 stuff if you're going to the top 40 floor, because I had a top 40 floor. So,
you missed ABBA out of there, Mick.
Say that again.
You missed ABBA.
You missed ABBA.
Look, ABBA, when I first started at Retro, I used to do my own mega mix of ABBA, and it worked really, really well. But I think over the years, and part of the reason why I retired as well, is because Retro, to me, was 70s and 80s. Retro to the kids that were coming into through the doors were 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
To me, that's modern stuff. That's
yeah. So it was time to move on. It was like retiring from football. You just know when you rock up the training and you just don't have that same motivation, or you're not getting the same response from the players. It's time to hang up the boots.
Hung up the headphones. That's it.
Yeah, very good. Tell us about your umpiring days, Mick, because I know that you do you still umpire?
Yeah. So I obviously, as soon as I stopped DJing, I went back into umpiring, because you may remember back in the mid 2000s, I was umpiring both in the Parramatta district and in grade cricket as well. I actually took a year off when he Waratahs to go and do grade cricket back in 2006-07. And I won the rookie umpire of the year in the grade cricket scene. And then due to personal circumstances, I stopped umpiring. So in 2017, after I stopped DJing, I went back into the umpiring and absolutely love it, doing first grade in Premier Cricket now. And
I love it too.
Why do you love it, Jamie?
Because I don't see him for the whole weekend.
Beautiful. Oh, very nice.
I come home to a spring clean every Saturday afternoon, which is fantastic. I love it.
So what are you doing, Jamie, while Mick's out? You're cleaning the house.
I'm cleaning the house, I'm doing the lawns, I'm doing the gardens, I'm doing all those things that he gets in my way around.
And you're dressing up Molly in different outfits throughout the weekend.
Oh, always. She's got a ridiculous amount of clothes. I have to admit it.
So outside of hobbies, what is it that you both do for work? Like what's your permanent roles or your jobs?
Education.
Okay. Did you say primary education?
Early education.
Early education. Okay, so childcare. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Is it close to home for you?
I get some pretty bad traffic. It sometimes can take me 4 minutes, but without traffic, it's about 3.
I
know. That's walking.
There is a question coming up later in this little segment that might be very appropriate, and I won't lead into it. But if you want to use your early childhood story for that one, that might be appropriate. if you know where I'm going with it. If you're not, I'll prompt you.
What about you, Mick? Do you work outside of umpiring or?
Yeah. So I Insurance Australia Group, which is the parent company for NRMA, CGU, and a few other brands. So I'm part of the CGU part of the business at the moment. Started off in the NRMA side of things, but at the moment, I'm in the CGU.
What do you do for them?
Just consultant, telephone consultant.
Great.
4 out of 5 days a week I work from home, so my travel time is a little bit less than Jamie's, and I don't have to wear as much. But how
do you go dealing with the public? Like, is that I imagine some people are quite difficult to deal with.
Yeah, very much so. And I'm probably not the most patient person going around. I don't deal with a lot of what's the word I used yesterday? I don't deal with
bullshit.
Yeah, I don't deal with incompetent people.
Yeah.
And
or bullshit.
So I've been had talks with senior leaders over the years with some of my mannerisms.
I've even spoken to him and said, "How are you not fired yet?" Because I'm sometimes home for some of the conversations, and I think, Jesus.
Yeah, so I tend to match the tone.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it is what it is. I've been there now for almost 18 years.
Wow.
So I must be doing something right.
Yeah, wow, that is quite a long time. I didn't know that, Mick. I didn't know you were in insurance. So there you go, you learned something. And doing it for 18 years, because when we first met back in the Wenny and winter cricket sort of days, what did you say that was? 2007, 9?
2000 and when did you come to Wenny Waratahs?
Like when you had your first stint at winter cricket with us, that was probably my first year. I was only at Wenny Waratahs for a year, and then I was sort of like a fill-in whenever I was needed, once in a blue moon type of thing. But I never really committed to cricket. I just sort of was there on the side.
Yeah, that's right. Because I know Phil and Michelle had come across earlier. So obviously when Phil and Karen had come back to Sydney.
That was probably that year that Phil came back to Sydney, and he was living in Maryland. Was probably my first year I played a full season. And
it would have been earlier than 2007.
Do you reckon?
It would have been. It would have
born in 2006 or something. And anyway, I feel like it would have been earlier than that.
I think it was well before then. I know you were. Well, put it this way, I'm just going back. How old's Jason now?
30. No, 31 this year.
No, I've got no idea.
He started off in Havergo. He started in the Havergo, which is the 5 to 8 year old. So he was only sort of 7 or 8 when he came over. So that was 20.
20. Yeah.
Wow. We are getting old.
Yeah.
We're getting very old.
Yeah, so
I don't know how you transition.
Probably 2003, 4-ish.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yep. Well, I don't know how you transition from Wenny Waratahs into Harry Potter, but that's where my next question was going, Jamie. So, and some people that used to play for Wenny Waratahs might be able to draw some sort of link between the two, but I can't think of anything funny off the top of my head. But I have heard you are a bit of a Harry Potter nut. Did you read the books or into the movies, or how did you get your interest with Harry Potter?
So I actually didn't watch any of the Harry Potter movies or read the books when they actually came out. My friend who was a Harry Potter nut was absolutely appalled at the fact I'd never seen a movie or read a book. So she made me watch.
That she's still a friend.
She made me watch the first movie, and that was it. I watched all the movies, and I had to go and get all the books, and now I'm an absolute nutcase.
Right. So you've obviously then watched all the movies and read all the books, right? So yeah, very good.
What house are you?
Oh, Gryffindor.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I
don't pretend that you know what you're talking about.
I don't know what that means.
Well, Gryffindor's the main one that Harry's in, right?
Absolutely.
And I know there's Slytherin, but I don't know the other two. Is there 4? Is there 4? I'm not sure if there's 4.
Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw.
I'd be Hufflepuff.
Would you?
Well,
Why?
I just like how it sounds. That sounds cute.
Well,
Have you got
it's
Have you got
massive
the hat?
badger.
Have you got the hat to tell you which one that you are?
Well, I have a sorting hat bag, but I keep all of her collars and leads in it.
Right. Very good. Well, where did we go? I don't know if you guys have been overseas to America. We went to what's it called? Disneyland.
No, it
Was
wasn't
it
Disneyland. It was
Studio.
Is it Universal? The one that's got the Harry Potter ride? It had just opened.
No.
Not in Orlando. It was in
I can't remember. It was all a big blur. The whole trip's a big blur.
I feel it was Universal. Anyway, it was the best. It had not long opened. Like it had just opened. It was the best ride ever.
Yeah, it was like Beck just said, completely brand new. But the experience, I mean, you had to line up for an hour and a half or 2 hours, but you didn't mind lining up for 2 hours for the ride. And the reason being is the whole 2 hour entrance into getting to where the ride actually was like
telling a story.
Yeah, it was telling a story. It was
Part of
all
the ride.
it was all decked out. The whole area, like the whole precinct, it looked like you're walking into a a castle. It was quite amazing. Like the money they would have spent on it was phenomenal.
He wants to go to London so he can go to Lord's. And so I told him that if he has to drag me there for Lord's, then he's going to Harry Potter World.
Yeah.
And it's not negotiable.
Well, that's interesting you say, because my next question was, do you have any upcoming holiday plans?
Not this year, obviously, because we are going to be relocating out of Sydney at some point this year. So
Tell us more.
Sorry?
Tell us more.
We're going to relocate up to Sawtell where he proposed.
Oh,
Wow.
fantastic.
My
When you're there by
family-
October, we need somewhere to stay.
Oh, well, I'll be up there by October.
Just joking. Or am I? Anyway, so what's in Sawtell? What draws you there?
Well, that's where my dad's family's from.
Right.
And so I've holidayed there since before I was born.
Yeah.
And so we've done Easter, Christmas, school holidays up there for all my life. And it's just always been my end zone.
Yeah, right. No, it's fantastic. It's a great, lovely place. We go up there twice a year for Libby's Oztag. And Stephen obviously grew up there in Woolgoolga. I don't know if you knew that, but he would know that place real well. But yeah, how lovely. That's really exciting.
I went to school with, I think it's half sister, Kim Joss.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep.
Did you?
Yeah. So she was a Maroubra Bay girl. She was a year below me, but yeah.
I didn't know that.
What a small world.
Yeah. So.
I see her quite often, actually, just at Winston Hills. I think they must be
different.
Different Kim?
No, this is Steve's wife you're talking about.
Oh, who's this then?
Kim's Steve's sister. So the actual, not married. But yeah, it is a small. I would love nothing more to retire or move and relocate and go to I don't care, actually. You know what? Anywhere along the East Coast, from the tip of Queensland, although I don't want to be a Queenslander, all the way down to probably Newcastle for that matter. Anywhere along that East Coast, I'll be happy as long as it's on the beach. One day I'll get there, but I do envy the fact that you guys are biting the bullet and doing it. So well done, you guys.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
The sun will definitely be well improved next time we have you on the final whistle. That's for sure.
Well, no, not me. I have 2 shades, red and white.
Yeah, I'm the same now, but there you go. Favorite drink? We were talking before we started. I have a whiskey and Beck has a cruiser in front of us, but do you have a go-to?
Tell before we answer that question, tell us about your whiskey there, Steve.
Well, actually, I just grabbed a quick bottle and ran downstairs, but I usually go for Maker's Mark. The traditional one is the Johnny Walker. Beck's dad got me on the Johnny Walker. I was a bourbon drinker before I started drinking with Glenn, and he's now unfortunately passed, but he lived with us for a year or two. And he was one of those dads that he always made sure he came home in the bar fridge was always full. So he'd fill the fridge with VB and he'd come home with a bottle of Johnny Walker. So I quickly changed from a Tui's New drinker to a VB drinker, and I quickly changed from bourbon to a whiskey drinker because that was what was stocked in the fridge and that was what was full. So, but yeah, Maker's Mark or Johnny Walker, the two regular go-tos that or Dimples. I actually get Dimples a fair bit when it's on sale, but that's my go-to drinks.
What would you say your go-to drink is now, Jamie, after 2 weeks ago?
I was very much a whiskey person until 2 weeks ago. Now I'm not so sure I can stomach it just yet. Give that a wide berth for a little while, I think.
Just to put some context to it, we went out to see a live musician in the city, and we were just having a nice. Jamie likes her whiskies neat, like you're drinking it there, Steve.
I'm a single malt person though, so
yeah. So I know I have it on a rock. So, but needless to say, this whiskey was 68% proof.
Wow.
Yeah,
I did not know that until today, and then it made entire sense why I was so sick because I had about 6 or 7 of them.
Wow.
Wow, that is proper. I will say that I am very much a novice and don't have a lot of knowledge when it comes to all the different types. But Michelle's husband, who's also in the tipping comp, Chris, he's also into his whiskies and scotches, and we're going to join a whiskey club. So we're going to start testing and trialing some different varieties every month, and hopefully my education will improve. But are you a member or something? Do you try or taste all?
No, I just try them. If I like them, I buy them.
Yep.
Put it this way, I like one just recently, and I bought the bottle $230 later.
Wow.
Yeah, they can.
But that's a special occasion one.
Hasn't been open.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so it's something that I'm looking forward to over the next few months, years to get into we're also starting to test out cigars as well. So we're both not really smokers, but we've started enjoying us when we have our whiskey is to have a cigar, and that's an experience in itself. But
and I'll just add that Stephen then enjoys sleeping on the lounge because he reeks of cigar smoke that Beck over here doesn't cope well with.
No, it is it's so horrid.
Yeah, the taste is good to get used to as well.
Well, if you're getting into your whiskies, you should do yourself a favor and go to a little distillery in Rosebery. It's called Archie Rose. You can do your own. We're actually going to do it. You do your own whiskey blending course.
Yeah, you should actually. It wasn't Matthew saying he was going to book into a whiskey tasting.
Maybe we're always looking for stuff like that. So
where did you say it was? Rose.
Archie Rose.
And where is it?
Rosebery.
Yeah.
Over near Mascot.
Yeah, so you do your own course where you blend your own whiskey, and then you get to take home the bottle of whiskey that you make.
Oh, yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, very, very good. Well, it's on to that part of the question that I said that you might be able to utilise your early childhood educating role at, but it started, within my little group of friends. Anyway, I won't give you a backstory. The question is, do you have I nearly shit myself story? So everyone, typically, there's always a time or a place that you guys, you know what, I've got I nearly shit myself story. Do you guys have one?
I don't have any I've nearly shit myself stories, but I've been shit on plenty of times.
Well, there you go. That's the early childhood segue. Let's go with that.
What about you, Mick?
I can't say. Hang on, so what's the question again? Rephrase
Have you ever
it.
had a I nearly shit myself moment? And not been scared out of your mind, shit yourself.
Well, this is probably a serious one. Was when I had heart surgery a couple of years ago, and they were doing some tests, and they decided to defib me when I was awake.
What?
Oh God!
That was a moment that it was like I had lumps.
Yeah, wow.
Why why did they? Was that intentional, or did they?
I think
yes, it was intentional, but he wasn't sedated as much as they thought he would. So he developed a slight arrhythmia after the surgery, and in order to put it back into place, they put some electrodes up through his groin into the heart, and it just gives it a little shock. But you're supposed to be quite sedated for that, so you don't feel it. And they weren't 100% sure they were going to have to shock it at that point, so they hadn't sedated him quite enough before they actually did the shock. So, and then they're kind of like, oh shit, oops.
Yeah, oops. Yeah, okay. I thought the machines are smart enough to know that, you know, I've done my first aid training even last week, but I've been doing it for God knows how long.
It wasn't a defibrillator. It was, you know, like
a proper one through.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm hoping when you're in the shops putting a defibrillator on, you're not putting it up through the groin.
Well,
that might be a problem, Stephen. The pads go on the chest, mate. Not
I thought so. Don't go one on each testicle. Okay.
Ask Mick, he knows.
Anyway, that's the extent of my knowledge when it comes to shocks.
Yeah, well, that's pretty horrific, actually. What did the doctor say to you when you came to? That would have been an interesting conversation. A bit of an open discussion.
I don't have much recollection. Just that
they were very apologetic, and you know,
so
no
much
harm
so
was
that
done.
the head of the Royal Prince Alfred Hospital came to visit me a couple of days later.
I bet they did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they were worried about maybe some litigation.
100%.
When you worked in hospitals, Beck, you know how it works.
I do. I certainly do. As a manager, I know exactly how that goes.
Yeah.
All right, we're on to the next part, and this is the tipping talk. So I've got a little video we'll play if it works. Here we go. And that's exactly how I felt last week after my little tipping.
When did you get that video of Jamie?
Well, she must be very similar to myself, because I'm surprised that my TV monitors still exist as well, because I had a shocker. How did you guys go last week?
Oh, horrific. And the week before that, and the week before that, and probably the other like 10 weeks before that. Yeah. Pretty bad.
Around 10.
Yeah.
Well, for the first time ever, I'm in front of Jamie at this point of the competition. I'm only in the competition to beat Jamie.
Yep.
And and up until about, I think, round 4, she was just ahead of me, and then I've had
And then I capitulated.
and now I'm in 18th or something, and Jamie's in 72nd.
Oh, am I?
You're
Yeah.
beating me, Jamie.
I didn't realize it even dropped that far. I thought it was at least in the 60s. Shit.
No, you actually nailed it. So I did look into the stats before we started tonight, and that's exactly right. 18th and 72nd. In comparison to the year before, where Jamie finished 14th. So that was an outstanding effort. I haven't gone back further than last year, but 14th, Jamie, and then Mick, you finished 65th. So it's literally a complete flip around to where you are now.
I think even the year before that, Jamie was in the top 10. So she was right up there, and I was down where I usually am, down in the 60s or whatever.
Yeah.
So the fact that I'm in 18th spot, can we stop the competition now? I'll take that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would be bragging too if it wasn't for last week, because I was up in and around that 20 mark, but no longer am I there. But how long have you been in the tipping comp? Like I was trying to trace back my memory. Have you been in it as long as the cricketing days? Like, when did you jump in?
No, I came in after the cricket days, and I came in for a year or so, and then I dragged Jamie into it.
Yeah.
Because Jamie had her own family thing happening initially.
And there was just too many tipping comps to remember.
Yeah.
Well, this is the best one.
This one's easy.
Yeah, so I'd say 10 years.
Yeah, I thought for a while.
Yeah,
So when you're doing your tips, are you doing it with your heart or your head?
Head. Probably
no,
so
don't
far
lie,
fine.
Jamie. You're not doing it with your head. You're doing it with whatever the sports bet margins are.
Oh, yeah, true. I use
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. I use the odds as a guide. It gives me a start. It gives me a reference point.
Yeah.
And then it usually goes pear-shaped from there because then I start putting my own twist on it, and then that's where I lose.
Well, see, my biggest issue is I second guess at kickoff. And I think to myself, do I change? And then I'll change it and it fails. And then I think to myself, nah, I'm not going to change it because it failed last time. And then I should have changed it because it would have worked out. So I just don't change at all anymore, even think about it, because I just get further behind.
Yeah.
Look, I have a look at what the majority of people are tipping.
Yep.
And then I'll have a look. Having said that, if you went by the margins, I'm only talking last night because Jamie and I looked at it last night. The sports bet or tab or whatever it was, whatever you get on that ESPN site, it had West Tigers favourite to beat South this weekend. I'm sorry, that's just losing 54-0. The team that beat the team in the top four.
That was luck.
Yeah.
It has been some interesting ones. I don't know if Parramatta are favourite over Newcastle, but I'll be surprised if they are. They're not. No, I wouldn't have thought so. But there has been some strange ones.
There's not much between them, though.
There was one the other week. Who was it? I think it was someone against Newcastle. I can't recall what the game was. And I thought there's absolutely no way they're going to win that game. I think that was the only one I got right that week as well. But I'm no one to ask when it comes to who to pick or what to pick. Do you guys have a favourite player?
Adam Reynolds.
Okay. Is that because of his South days or just because you think he's a good-looking bloke?
Oh, a bit both. Yeah.
I get ridiculed for it, especially from Jamie's mum, but because I rate Latrell Mitchell massively. I think he, even before he came to South. I mean, when there was talk that he was going to come to South, I was cheering. Admittedly, yes, he spent most of the time off the field than he has on it, or whatever. But yeah, I rate him big time. If we're talking about past players, Greg Inglis for me.
Yep.
Yeah, right. What's your best footy memory as a fan?
2014 grand final.
Yep.
I can't go past that one as well. Sitting there in the Burrow, the tears, the joys, for someone like, especially me, who has supported them since I was 4 years of age.
Yep.
And as a real little one, and I don't remember it, going to the 71 grand final.
Was that the one before that, was it? The 70s?
That was the last time we'd won it before that, yeah.
All right, I was going to ask that question. Wow, so you guys had a long stint. Not as long as us, but a long stint.
43 years we have. So Parramatta are getting there.
Yeah. Oh, we're going backwards at the moment.
39 this year, isn't it, or something?
I think we're into our 13th or 14th rebuild if you go back and count them all. So maybe by the time we get to the 20th rebuild, we'll be close to winning one.
Yes.
You got to love it.
Quite funny. We were talking about Jamie's uncle who passed a few years ago now, and I didn't know this until last night. He was an avid Parramatta supporter.
Good bloke.
As soon as they brought in Brian Smith, he changed.
Right.
And started supporting Penrith.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
So Brian Smith started coaching Parramatta in '96, I think.
Yep.
What was wrong with Brian Smith?
I don't know. My uncle, God love him, he was a bit like my mum in that respect, actually. They have a beard in their bonnet about certain people and for no apparent reasons. Yep. My mum used to have a Dragon supporter that we used to say she rode like Seabiscuit. She had no reason to dislike him, but she just hated him.
Colin Best was the player.
Yeah, she just hated him for absolutely no reason. She didn't know why. She just didn't like him.
You're right.
Yeah.
I reckon that's the same for Ben Muras and his hatred for Luke Burt. There's no explanation for it.
How did you hate Luke Burt?
I know. But it's a strange one, but these things happen.
Look, when it comes to rugby league and God love him, the Murasses in general, they support the Roosters.
Yeah.
If you're watching Ben and Lisa, love you both to death, but you support the Roosters. It's no one bothered.
Oh dear.
Yeah, they're definitely going nowhere being a Roosters supporter, that's for sure. Biggest heartbreak as a fan?
2021 for me.
What was that?
When we lost the grand final to Penrith.
Oh, yeah.
In the last 5 minutes when the intercept. We would have won that grand final that year.
Yeah, forgot about that.
Or for me, 89, going out in straight sets after winning the minor premiership.
Yep, okay. You're really digging back into the memory banks. I'm trying to recall these years, but I won't pretend to be across it. What else have we got here? We've gone through how you've gone over the last few years, and
who do you want to beat in the competition, or each other?
Well, yeah.
Other than each other, then.
That's all we ever get.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'd just like to, I don't know, try and redeem myself even remotely.
Is there a prize at the end for the winner, or is that
because it's a family show?
Just the privilege of being able to gloat that one's better than the other, which I've been lucky enough to have that privilege for many years. So I suppose I can suck it up for one.
So who has absolutely no chance of winning out of everyone that you know? And you do know a few people in the tipping comp. Who would you say has no chance?
Who would I tip that would have no chance? I actually don't know where people are because I don't know their handles on the, so I don't know who they are. A couple I do, but yeah, there's a few that I don't know. But I obviously with Michelle likes to bet, spruik herself a little bit there when she has a good week and whatever else. I think she's obviously Deputy LM. She's in the top
5, I think.
Yes. So I don't know. To be honest, I just hope any Roosters ones come right down the bottom.
Did you say Phil? Did you say Phil? He's got absolutely no. I can't believe you're picking on Phil to say he's got no chance of winning the tipping comp. That's really outrageous, Mick. I can't believe you said that.
Love you too, Phil. If you're watching, he will be because he likes to comment.
Yeah,
he will. He definitely will be watching. He says they don't always watch it live, but they definitely do watch it, and he'll love the fact that you isolated him out specifically. All right, moving into the rapid fire round. And greatest NRL player of all time.
Wally Lewis.
Greg Inglis.
Wow. 2 Queenslanders. You guys aren't Queenslanders.
Hang on. Greg Inglis is not a Queenslander. He played for Queensland, but he was not a Queenslander.
Yeah, I agree. That should be one of the questions, actually, that I put in here. I should change that. Come up with our own criteria for how you get selected for New South Wales and Queensland.
Well, okay. Explain the background there.
Well, basically, if you don't live in metropolitan Sydney, Queensland say that Queensland take everybody else.
Yeah.
Don't you have to have played your first?
Oh, there's lots of rules, but they don't abide by any of the rules.
All right.
It's just but you could be born in Papua New Guinea and you're a Queenslander. You could be born in France and they're
well, they're trying to
look at Adrian Lamb. He was a Papua New Guinean, and they've done it for many years.
They're trying to find a loophole for Herbie Farnsworth to be able to play for Queensland, and he didn't even move to the country until he was 14.
Yeah, I think his priest baptized him. He was Queensland. I think that might be why he's now Queenslander. But yes, the good old Queensland. It's good to know that you're a New South Welshman.
Absolutely.
Who's the best current player in the NRL?
Oh, you can't go. Oh, I hate it, and it makes me cringe. But you can't go past Nathan Cleary.
Yeah.
Sadly.
I don't think anyone's picked up anyone else
This
yet.
isn't recorded, right? There's no proof that I said that.
No one will ever know.
Good.
Look, I think he's a chin in front of Latrell.
Yeah, very good. Very
chin
good.
hair.
Yeah, that was very clever.
Yeah, that was clever.
Biggest grub in the game.
Angus Crichton.
Okay.
Look, up until this year, it was Garrard Warrior-Hargraves without a shadow of a doubt. He's now gone, but he's still in the game, so he's technically still the biggest grub in the game. He's playing over in England though. But today, sorry, Roosters fans, but Spencer Leniu for me.
Okay. So you definitely can't see the rivalry between the Roosters and South Sydney at all in these answers or these conversations. It is. You guys are diehards. I love it. I love the passion. Golden point or extra time?
Golden point for sure.
Finish at 80.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a discussion this week, wasn't it? On whatever that show is. Is it on a Monday night? That footy show. They were talking about it. Is it? Yeah.
Yep.
And there were some good discussions around that.
Yeah, we had Lisa's dad, Ray. He's also in the tipping comp. He had his birthday on the weekend. It was a topic around the dinner table as well. And I might actually change that question and throw in the third option. So 80 minutes.
The third option being, for Ray's sake, mercy rule.
Yeah. He'll love that. Beautiful.
What's one what's one rule you'd change if you could instantly?
Oh, it's hard to think of anything, but I suppose with all the controversy of the last weekend, the trainers being out on the field tampering with the ball, the dodgy bastards.
Yeah. Apparently they've been doing it for a long time. You probably watch the same. Watch the same segment that I watched, but
I showed Jamie's dad today some footage from the Cowboys grand final where Ben Hunt dropped the ball after the ball had water put on it by the trainer.
Right. There you go. All those clips are going to start surfacing now that it's become a topic.
Yeah.
So for me, and I was actually going through these rapid fire questions, and I said to John, I'm trying to think of a change. For me, get rid of the 6 again.
Okay.
If they're offside, penalise them. There's no less penalties in the game now than what there were prior to the 6 again that was brought in, not 2019 or 2020 or whatever it was. There's no extra penalties. There's no reduction in penalties. So if they get penalised once for it, they'll stay onside. Ruck infringements, if the referee, there's too much turmoil over the ruck infringements. One player might take 4 seconds to get off, the other player will take 3 seconds, but the next set there might be someone that's on there for 4 seconds and he's getting 6 again.
Yeah, I definitely think the 6 again has, although they're trying to fasten up the gameplay, I think all it does is provide more confusion and uncertainty to the fans to understand what is actually the penalty for, which doesn't help them. And as we all know, there's always a cloud hanging over the ref's head in the first place. So the fact that they're blowing the whistle, or you get the whistle going over the sound speaker for another 6, doesn't help their case to show consistency. That's for sure.
And just for the record, John, Jamie's dad, he was very quick to answer that question when I put it to him, and he said, "Blow up the bunker."
Blow up the bunker, yeah. Put a bomb under the bunker. Yeah, I wouldn't.
I only have them there for what they were originally put there, and just to confirm tries. That's it.
Yep. Can't disagree with any of those changes. So let's sign you up to the NRL, I think. What have we got? Best bet of the round. I haven't actually looked to see who's playing apart from Parramatta and Newcastle, but who would be your pick of the week?
I think you're a safe bet with Raiders.
Do you know? Can you remember who they're playing? Is it West Tigers?
No, just having a look.
Can't remember.
So Raiders are playing Titans.
Which
right.
Is
98% of tipsters have gone the Raiders, over 2% for the Titans.
Yeah.
Now, I think look, for me, as much as it's 61% versus 39, I think I can't see West Tigers winning, regardless of who they're playing. You can't come back 64-0 drubbing on your own home turf. I think it was, wasn't it? Where was it?
Oh, actually, yeah, no, I think it was at Leichhardt.
It was against Melbourne, wasn't it? Yeah. So I think it was. Yeah. I just can't see them coming back 1 week later. They might put a better performance, but yeah. So that would be my tip of the round.
Who do you think is going to win the premiership this year, and who do you think is going to get the wooden spoon?
I think we both agreed last night that Dogs.
Yeah.
You think they're going to win?
Well, yeah. Look, I think the top two contenders are Dogs or Canberra.
Yep.
I'd like Canberra over Dogs because I can't stand them.
My Smoky are the Warriors.
Sorry, I missed that. Your Smokies who?
The Warriors.
Okay, yeah, I'd love the Warriors. I would love the Warriors to win.
So they're my Smoky. As for the wooden spoon, sorry guys.
Para, you reckon we'll get it?
No, I reckon it's going to be the Titans.
Okay.
I
I did some thinking today, and I'm going to start doing a poll. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I think we've got to win 11 games out of the remaining 16. 2 of them are buys, or 17. 2 of them are buys. So
Is that just to make the top 8?
to make the 8, yeah. So I'm backing us in to make the 8.
If you can stay in form, you won't make the 8. Sorry there, but you can at least have some redemption and end up a little higher. I don't think
we're going to lose Moses for the next 6 weeks or whatever it is once they pick him in Origin. If they pick him for all 3.
I think Parramatta's worst enemy is that they've got the South Sydney mindset with recruitment. They've let go the most valuable player they've had for a number of years. South did it with Adam Reynolds back in 2022. Parramatta have done it this year with Clint Gutherson. So that was the worst piece of recruitment. Those 2 pieces in the last 5 years have turned the tables on both those clubs.
Yep, yeah, I rate Clint Gutherson, and there's a bit of a running joke with my mates that I claim him to be top 3 fullback in the league, and they all laugh at me anyway. It's a running joke of how much respect that I have for Clint Gutherson's football and his effort on the field. And I would have him over most of the fullbacks in the league. There are obviously a couple that I might choose ahead of him for the obvious reasons, but outside of that, I'd have Clint Gutherson over 90% more of the fullbacks in the league at the moment. Where are we up to? Up to the last one. Is this the last question?
No. Who's winning the tipping comp in 2025?
I can only see part of his handle. His handle's cocky. I think he used to be. Is it
Cocky Tryhard?
Huh?
Is it Cocky Tryhard?
I don't know. I think he's sitting in 2nd or 3rd at the moment.
Oh no!
Do
you know who that is, Mick?
Cocky Burn, is it? Cocky Burn?
Cocky Tryhard. She's coming 2nd, and she is a Muras. It is Lisa Muras.
Oh no!
He will love that because I keep getting in trouble that whenever I talk about her being so high up and going so well that I must come across that I'm surprised.
I think Jamie must have misunderstood my question.
Yeah.
I think what she thought I said was who's getting the wooden, like who's coming last in our tipping cup this year, right? Yeah.
No, the wooden spoon one was the question before that, Jamie. So this is who's going to win the premiership, who's going to win the tipping comp. She's going to absolutely love the fact that you said her name. Who do you reckon?
Who do I think will win it? Well, it's always nice to see a bunny up there on top. So I don't know who it is, but
What's the name?
Aiden. It's
All I can see is
He's a DOS.
yeah, Stumpy's son.
Yeah, so a mate of mine's young bloke, so he's going very well. He's a thumbnail, I think, for last week's tipping comp.
Yeah, well,
So
he
there you go.
got 7 last week, which pushed him into first spot. But yeah,
Well, he can give me some tips if he likes.
Yep.
that's
He's
the
a
last.
DOS and cocky tryhard. You've heard it here first. We're going to have to start a betting agency and put some odds on against these names. All right, last question. If you could host a barbecue and invite 3 people, who would they be? Any 3 people in the world, past, present, or emerging?
I could only think of 2: John Farnham and Billy Joel.
Wow.
And yeah, right. And Mick, obviously.
I said that to her last night, and she.
Oh God, no! I
Um,
mean, if I had to bring a third, he could be a ring in.
What about didn't you, or was it Josh Reynolds? Is that who you said you're
Adam Reynolds.
Adam Reynolds?
Oh yeah,
You could bring him.
yeah, I could bring him.
for me, I haven't really thought about it, but I don't know. I can't think of anyone to be honest. I mean, Muhammad Ali is someone that I would have loved to have got into the head of and just really understood him. Probably Gough Whitlam.
Wow. God, it's way too deep for this podcast.
No, I just I just think he was a step ahead and brought this country into where it needed to be.
Yep.
So yeah, and
So who's got the tongs?
Hang on, and Jamie, that's sweet.
she does the cooking.
Yeah.
I was gonna say who's doing the barbecue. So you're bringing Jamie to manage the grill.
He's not allowed to cook.
Is
I
there
was alive.
is there a story behind that?
Yes.
Don't you remember the days of when he worked? I wasn't even allowed to do the barbecue. We had to give it to Ken to do that.
Yeah,
Right
he's
now,
not allowed to cook at all, ever again, ever.
That sounds strategic, Mick. I think that's probably not true, and it's just that you've been very clever at some point.
Oh, I don't know.
To royally screw up so that you're never asked again to cook.
Well, you feed somebody a blue steak and vegetables that have caterpillars in them, you're pretty much never going to be allowed to cook again.
that's the indigenous side coming out of him. That's all that is.
His theory was if you put a frozen steak in the barbecue, it thaws and cooks all at the same time.
Well, he's not
Snake.
steak.
Oh, steak.
Yeah, steak. Straight on the barbecue. It looks outside, you cut into it. I'm surprised it didn't cop a hoof to the face. Beyond blue.
Well, on that note, that wraps it all up. Thank you so much for your time. I know it is uncomfortable for people to get in front of the camera. I know it's definitely uncomfortable for me to start doing what I've done this year. So I appreciate you taking the time out and sharing your stories and giving us a little bit of insight to what goes on behind the scenes in your place.
Been a pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome. And as I always say, keep your tips smart, your banner sharp, and remember, it's all fun and games until the final whistle.